Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest GFS, GM, ECMWF, GFS ensembles, and then we'll have a more detailed look at some precipitation charts. We'll also look at some Cape charts, as it does look like we're going to be seeing some quite severe thunderstorms in the middle of next week as this warm air does finally sort of move away and we get some colder air coming in off the Atlantic. That breakdown does look like it could be quite thundery indeed. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description. So I'll run through the longer range models first, just to get a general overview of what we're going to be seeing over the next few weeks. So if we look at the GFS, you can see the warm air overtaking the whole country at the moment, with temperatures tomorrow reaching perhaps 28, 29 or even 30 degrees in some areas of the south. We saw a high of 26 today in the east, but it's going to be tomorrow where we do see the widespread heat, where you can see at 12 o'clock on Sunday, you can see the warm areas pretty much over the whole of the country. Perhaps a little bit cooler in northern Scotland, as we do have westerly winds, which could bring in some bit of cloud and some dampness in off the Atlantic. Into Monday, though, you see warm air still across the southeast, and it's been given a couple of days to build now. So it means on Monday does look like increasing likely that's probably the day we're going to definitely hit 30 degrees somewhere in the southeast. However, further north and west in Scotland, you see low pressure starting to push in, and it's going to bring a cold front through in northern areas, but it's really going to get squeezed away by the high pressure as it heads southwards. As we head through Tuesday, still quite warm in the south, a bit cooler in the north, but again, warm air does come up ahead of the cold front. That is going to be spreading in off the Atlantic under this area of low pressure. And it's really Wednesday evening where we could be seeing some big thunderstorms. You see very warm air, hot, humid air coming in up from France. With the southerly winds, we're going to see an area of thunderstorms and probably generally heavy rain moving northwards across the country, sort of from north of the Bay of Biscay all the way through central northern England. Again, its exact track is unknown at this point, but it's generally looking like it's tracking through central England at this stage. But we'll look at it in the precipitations in a minute. Beyond that, that cold front does eventually sweep through, still hanging on to some warm air in the southeast. But by sort of Friday, Saturday, we have swept away that cold air, that warm air, and some colder or cooler air has moved in. But low pressure is going to be sitting out in the Atlantic, bringing in sort of southerly winds. Now, it's going to introduce warmer air once again to the east and the southeast. However, with low pressure, it does look like there will probably be more convection, therefore more showers, and probably more thunderstorms. Now, it's probably too far out really to look in detail. It's getting towards sort of day 10 by this stage. So it's too difficult to look at what the exact sort of scenario will be. But on this pattern, we would be expecting a lot of sort of convective showers. Some days where some areas do see very little rain and some quite nice conditions with warm upper air temperatures. Other days where you could have some warm upper air temperatures and you get really quite warm, humid, but damp, cool, and with heavy rain sort of day. Beyond that, though, it does look like low pressure will generally be in control, sitting out in the Atlantic and to the north of the UK, bringing in southerly or southwesterly winds. So it's not really a cool direction, but it's going to be still powering in a lot of showers, convection, and probably some occluded fronts as well. If we have a look at how the GEM compares, you can see again, very similar over the next few days, that warm air taking over. And then as we head into the middle of the week, we see that push of southerly winds with those heavy thunderstorms probably coming in just where you see that hot air interacting with that cold front. That's where we're going to be seeing the thunderstorms in central England. But you can see the 15-degree isotherm does look like it's going to be moving through southeastern parts, which would give 30 degrees perhaps. But again, as those thunderstorms mix in, it probably will cool temperatures down. So unfortunately, those upper air temperatures, which we would probably be looking at for another sort of bout of very hot conditions, probably will be wasted with thunderstorms. Beyond that, again, you see another push of southerly winds, just missing the southeast, but that's caused by this low pressure system bringing in southerly or southwesterly winds. So probably showers, heavy rain combined with that, and that probably hot, humid air is probably going to be fueling some showers and thunderstorms as well. So it does look like both the GFS and GEM is going quite unsettled and quite thundery, perhaps, sort of from day 7 to day 10 and beyond. If we have a look at the ECMWF, see how that compares to the other models. Again, very similar in the next few days, and that low does push in with that warm, humid air. And we do Clear through thunderstorms, but a ridge of high pressure starts to build in to our north and our east. Now it does try and push in warmer air back in from the east, but again it's going to get overpowered by low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, and generally we're in between weather systems. Now, on the ECMWF, we can only, unfortunately, do 24-hour intervals, so it's difficult to see exactly how this evolves. But if we go back to the pressure charts, you can see generally, even though high pressure is trying to take control, we've always got sort of these upper-level troughs that keep trying to push that high pressure away and keeping us unsettled. And you can see a little bit of a cut-off low looks like it could be developing there as well. If we finally have a look at the GFS ensembles, you can see over the next few days, generally quite warm, with temperatures getting up to maybe 15 degrees at 850 HPA by Thursday, but again, accompanied by very heavy rain and thunderstorms, so it's going to mean those are very hot temperatures, probably not going to be seen. However, it's tomorrow where we do see upper air temperatures and dry conditions, which means why tomorrow and Monday is likely to see the warmest temperatures. Now, there is a bit of a drop-off, but for Tuesday, still temperatures could get up into the mid-20s before temperatures do pick up again ahead of those thunderstorms moving in. Beyond that, January temperatures are around average, or perhaps a little bit cooler than average. There are some other ensemble members going much hotter and much warmer than average, and I do suspect those are ones where that low pressure does sit to our south, spiraling in very hot, humid air. So we'll be warm with that sort of scenario, but also would have thunderstorms associated with it. And you can see in the longer term, there still looks reasonably unsettled. If we have a look at the 2-meter temperatures, you can see over the next sort of 4 or 5 days, London does look like it's going to be over 25 degrees every day, if not hitting 26, 27, 28, or even 29 or 30 degrees. Even as those thunderstorms move in, you can see the day before perhaps getting up to 30 degrees, sort of Wednesday afternoon, perhaps it could be 30 degrees, and then we do see that big heavy thunderstorms arriving sort of Wednesday evening, that it looks like at this stage, before temperatures are much cooler on Thursday and beyond. So if we now have a look at the GFS for that precipitation coming in over the next few days and into Wednesday, you can see a bit of patchy rain coming into northern western areas as we do have westerly winds, and then more of a weather front, sort of a cold front moves in through Sunday evening, but again it does fizzle out as it moves southeastwards. And then we do again have another weather front pushing in, but it does fizzle out, but that dividing line still exists and it fuels these thunderstorms heading up from the south, sort of starting out sort of Wednesday afternoon into evening and continually spiraling up through Thursday evening into Thursday morning before spreading away by Thursday afternoon. For we do get another batch of thunderstorms moving up through Friday as well. Very intense thunderstorms there. Again, I doubt it's going to be this widespread in terms of intensity. It's not going to be a massive blob of thunderstorms, but it's probably going to be more scattered within a larger area of rain. So we'll have to keep an eye on the shorter range models, sort of Monday, Tuesday time, to have a look at exactly where we could see the biggest convection. And beyond that, again, more shower and more rain moving in with heavy thunderstorms and convective showers. If we have a look at the GM, now the GM does underdo precipitation sometimes, so it'll be interesting to how this shows it. Again, very similar over the next few days with those weather fronts sort of trying to push in. And then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, thunderstorms do take a little bit of time to develop, but by Wednesday evening they do develop quite heavy thunderstorms there on the GM. This is quite, we rarely do see sort of the yellow and green colours on the GM, as it does underdo precipitation sometimes here. And it does move through in western areas more, and then as it moves through, heads through northwards, and again we do see more thunderstorms develop in the east perhaps Thursday night into Friday. So it does look like in the GM it's about 12 hours delayed than the GFS. So again, timing is still going to be problematic at this stage. Again, if it came more on the Wednesday afternoon, we could see the thunderstorms a bit stronger with solar heating providing more lift. If they happened at night, perhaps it would be more of a spectacle, as you could look out your window, see flashes of lightning 10 or 20 miles away. But again, maybe intensity maybe perhaps a little bit less, so we don't have that sort of surface heating and solar convection. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that for exact timings. If we have a look at the icon run, again, very similar over the next few days. Don't suspect anything too much is going to change with regards to that rain on Sunday into Monday, just really affecting northwestern parts of sort of Scotland, perhaps northern England before fizzling away. Very dry through Monday and Tuesday quite widely, for weather fronts do move in through Tuesday afternoon, but they do slowly fizzle out. It does look like, unfortunately, it hasn't updated here. If we do actually go back a run, hopefully it will update. Hopefully it will be. Yeah, okay, it's updated that for the 12Z run. So if we do run through, you see again, eventually those weather fronts do sort of fizzle out, but that energy is still there, and big thunderstorms are fueling up and heading up from the south. Very intense on the Icon run. Now the Icon is a shorter range model, so it should model these a little bit better than the GFS and GEM, and it really is showing quite an intense core of heavy rain and thunderstorms. Again, as I said, I doubt it's going to be this mass area of sort of lightning and thunder, but I could see quite an area, quite a large area of heavy rain with sort of embedded thunderstorms within that. Or we could see sort of a pattern where we see a big area of heavy rain, which is sort of decaying thunderstorms, and then on the back edge, on the outflow, is where we do see thunderstorms sort of lining up. So it'll be interesting to see how it does develop. But at this stage, just keep your eye on Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening and into Thursday morning as well. So those thunderstorms head through, will still be lingering in northern areas by Thursday morning. It does look like perhaps on the other models as well, we do see another batch with Thursday into Friday. So lastly, we'll have a look at the UK Met Office run. We'll have a look at the precipitation rates here, and then we'll have a look at the max temperatures as well for the next few days, just to give a brief update. So we'll just run through the next couple of days quickly because it's very similar to the other runs. You can see that weather front does fizzle out through sort of Monday morning. And then again, another weather front moves in, fizzle out, but thunderstorms do start to develop in the channel, spreading northwards, and you can see again, does model it a lot better here, the UK Met Office run. Does show it much more sort of scattered, quite a large area of rain, but you see where these really sort of yellowy and orange colours are. That's really where we're going to see the lightning, and you can see portions heading through central England, some northwestern areas, and East Anglia as well. So it does look like it's going to be more of a showery nature, as ever with thunderstorms. It's impossible to sustain a mass area of thunderstorms simply because there's not enough energy, and you need sort of evaporation and convection to happen. So we can't just have a mass area of thunderstorms. There always has to be an outflow and an inflow. So it does look like it's going to be more of a sort of sporadic, sort of scattered nature, but quite intense. And for the UK, probably quite widespread as well. In this country, we do tend to see sort of pop-up storms or sort of southeast Kent clippers, or sometimes, on a rare occasion, we actually do get proper storms moving up from France. But in this scenario, I've only really seen this a few times over the last few years. Normally at the breakdown of a very hot spell, we do get these sort of very intense thunderstorms actually developing sort of homegrown in the UK. They will probably move through quite quickly on the southerly wind, but they could be very intense. And looking at sort of the pattern of them, even though individual cells might move quite quickly, it does look like they're going to be quite a big mass, a sort of area of convection. So one storm might move through, you might have an hour of sunshine, maybe lighter rain, before another heavy storm moves through. But again, same with that, you could be sort of in a line where we don't see a lot of thunderstorms, where just the convection doesn't really take off. So we'll really have to keep an eye on how this develops, and we'll look at a lot more detail through Monday and Tuesday. So if we lastly have a look at the max temperatures over the next couple of days, you can see Sunday getting up to maybe 28 degrees in the southeast, but widely 26, 27 degrees. And then Monday's probably the pick of the days at the moment for high temperatures. As we head through the afternoon, 29 or maybe 30 degrees in the southeast. A bit cooler in the north again as those weather fronts do move through. And then Tuesday, a bit cooler as we do have as that weather front is decayed. Still has its cooler air within it, and some cloud does move southwards. So just cool it down a tad, maybe only low 20s, 23, 24 degrees. Wednesday, again, could be quite a hot day, as you did see earlier, that very hot air moving up from the south, fueling those thunderstorms, 27, 28, 29 degrees perhaps in the southeast, for it does get swept away by those thunderstorms. Many areas are only 19, 20 degrees, but as we saw by those models, perhaps the southeast could just hold on to that very hot air, where we see a scenario where we could see 30 degrees in London, and just a bit further westwards, in Bristol, only see 18 degrees. So we could be seeing quite a big temperature contrast with that. And we could still see some thunderstorms popping up through Thursday and Friday as well. So we have to keep an eye on that. So lastly, I wanted to just have a brief look at Cape, because I've seen some Cape charts today and they do look quite intense. Now, I'd normally look at Cape and sort of convergent zones with regards to thunderstorms, probably a day or two out, but we're looking maybe 4 or 5 days out for these thunderstorms. So it's not really in the short range model. So we've gone to the WRF, but it's more of a longer or sort of mid-range model, a little bit less resolution, but it does show it's sort of out to 120 hours. So it's sort of like the icon run. So if we do run through, you can see this is the Cape, so sort of the lift index and the lift index on it. So anything sort of yellow, red, and green and orange as well. So anything really from around 1,000 upwards would be enough to fuel quite big thunderstorms in the UK. We tend not to see Cape above really 1,000, maybe 1,200 in the UK. Rarely we get it above that. So we'll just have to keep an eye on what's going to be happening here. You can see quite intense Cape over northern Spain with the hot and humid air. And it does slowly move into France through Tuesday with that hot, humid air. And you can see the low pressure moving in off the Atlantic with its instability. You can see Cape really isn't going. But by the time we get to the afternoon, sun, convective heating gets going. You see very intense Cape gets along with France. And then southern England Cape starts to get going. And we do see some quite intense Cape on this WRF run for many central areas. Starting in western areas, but also spreading eastwards as well, through sort of central northern England. You can see parts of the southeast do miss out on this. Again, it's longer range, at least for sort of Cape charts, so I wouldn't take it too literally at this stage, but just show you, we could be seeing 2,000 joules per kilogram, which is quite intense indeed. We could be seeing some big storms in France as well, as we're seeing very intense Cape with that. So yeah, very intense. Sort of the Cape we see in America is sort of on the purple end, sort of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. So we're not going to be seeing sort of American storms, but we could be seeing some very intense storms indeed. If we do briefly have a look at the GFS, if we do go to the GFS, go to North America, do we have? We don't have Cape, unfortunately, on the GFS run. What run would probably have? Maybe the Icon does. If we go Northern Hemisphere, no, the Icon doesn't, unfortunately. Which run would have HRRR? There we go. If we have a look at the Cape, this is American Cape on an American model, and you can see those red colours. It's getting up to around 3,000-4,000 joules per kilogram. So that's sort of the American intensity worth of storms, and we're not going to be seeing that. But we're going to be seeing some quite strong storms, potentially, with that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.